Hi everyone, so here's our example for today, and we're asked to solve these simultaneous equations and give our answers correct to one decimal place. Now this is always a hint in a question where you've got a quadratic that we're going to need to use quadratic formula here because we're giving our answers. They're not going to be nice exact answers. We're going to need to round them to two decimal places at the end. Okay, and if you remember back to solving simultaneous equations when one's linear and one's quadratic, so this is quite a few lessons ago now. Basically, you need to have one letter as the subject of the linear, the simpler equation. Well, y is already the subject here, so that's okay. And then we substitute that expression in for the letter y in this case, everywhere where it appears in the more difficult equation. So this time it's just here on the left-hand side. So this expression for y is equal to 8 minus 3x, that's going to get substituted in and replace that y value there. So my first line is going to be replace this with 8 minus 3x. So 8 minus 3x equals x squared plus 2x plus 4. Now I've definitely got a quadratic equation here because I've got an x squared involved. And so when I'm solving a quadratic equation, the first thing I need to do is to get 0 on one side. And I'm going to get 0 on this side to keep my x squared positive here. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to keep my x squared positive just to make it a bit simpler. So I'm going to take these two bits over and get rid of them onto the other side. So positive 8, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And then minus 3x, I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Okay, so that's going to give me 0 that I wanted on this side. And here I'm going to get x squared plus 5x minus 4. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use quadratic formula here to solve this quadratic equation. Don't forget, if it's an x squared, I can always put a 1 there. So my value of a is 1, my value of b is 5, my value of c is minus 4. So let's write the quadratic formula down from the last lesson before half term. X is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And now let's substitute in. So b is 5, so minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 5 squared minus 4 times a times c, make sure you remember that negative in there, all over 2 times a. And now let's sort that out. So minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 25, minus times a minus is a plus, so 25 plus 16 there, all over 2. So x is minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 41 all over 2. So my two answers then, if I was asked to just leave it in surd form, we'd just stop here. So minus 5 plus root 41 over 2, or minus 5 minus root 41 over 2. So there's my two solutions. If the question said in surd form, I'd stop there. This wants it to two decimal places, and we need to find our y values as well because it's simultaneous equation. It's got two letters in there. So let's sort this out then. Here, x is equal to minus 5 plus root 41. Divide that by 2. So that's 0.70156. So that's 0.70 to 2dp. And I want to find out what y is, so I'm going to use the simpler equation. Y is equal to 8 minus 3 lots of this x. And I'm not going to use this rounded value. I need to make sure I'm using this full value. So I'm going to keep that on my calculator. So y is equal to 8 minus 3 times that answer, which is 5.8953. So that's 5.90 to 2dp. I'm just going to move this paper up to make sure you can see this. So here we've got one solution. So my first solution, when x is equal to 0.70, y is equal to 5.90 to two decimal places. And then from this other side, let's have a look at these answers. So this time, minus 5 minus root 41, and then divide that answer by 2. So that's minus 2.7 5, 3. Just going to check that again on my calculator, make sure I type that in correctly. So minus 5 minus root 41, divide that by 2. Okay, that looks better. So minus 5.70,156. So again, minus 5.70 to 2dp. But I'm going to use this full answer to find my value of y. Y is equal to 8 minus 3 times x. So 8 minus 3 lots of this thing, minus 5.70156, which I've kept on my calculator. So 8 minus 3 times my answer, 25.1046. So 25.10 to 2dp. So my solution here then on this side is going to be x equals minus 5.70, and the corresponding value of y there, 25.10. Okay, so there's our solutions to these simultaneous equations where one's linear and one's quadratic, but it led to a quadratic equation giving our answers to 2dp. So what I'd like you to do now is to make sure that you've got this example in your notes, and then once you've done that, there's another example that I've set for you, another question, sorry, that I've set for you to do. I'd like to have a go of that on your own.